Catholic people will certainly tell you they don't expect to be as good as last year, but I think they certainly will be a lot better than a lot of people think. Wildwood is, looking to get a win. They flat out didn't compete on opening night against Deptford, and I know Scott McCracken was very disappointed in that. They did, however, play 3 very good quarters against Pleasantville over the weekend. Unfortunately, they had such a poor first quarter that they couldn't overcome it, and they ended up losing in overtime. But they came back from, I believe they may have been down as much as 17 in the first half, and came back and forced overtime, and even had a brief 1-point lead in overtime, but eventually lost the game to a Pleasantville team that I think they might be a little better than people thought. They played a showcase game here earlier today, and they played Bonner Prendergast Catholic from the Philadelphia Catholic League. And, Pleasantville had a lead in that game for about 28 minutes and then faded in the last 4 minutes. But I ended up losing by 4 or 5 over there. So, Wildwood certainly, they got the effort that they wanted on Sunday, but not the result. They're going to need that kind of effort, and they're going to need to play a little bit better to have a chance here against Wildwood Catholic tonight.
Well, one of the things, too, in that game on Sunday, Brian, they against Pleasantville, when they did lose in that overtime, as you said, when they fell behind, and again, when you fall behind by that many points, 17, 18 points, it takes a lot of energy to get back into the game. However, they were able to do that and sustain themselves and get back into the game as they hit a big 3-pointer at the buzzer. So it's a Wildwood team that also has a lot of different guys, a lot of different pieces to the puzzle. Ymir Coleman played well on Sunday. I mean, they have some guys that stepped up, and it's going to be very interesting. I think they're going to be a fun team to watch, I guess is where I'm going.
All right, we're going to take a 1-minute break. We'll come back with the start of this one right after this. Wildwood Catholic, Andrew Alamino, Boys Island Championship game coming right up on 98.7 The Coast. All right, back at the Convention Center, Brian Kniff, Buddy Tarbotton, and it is Wildwood Catholic here in the Alamino Island Championship game on the boys' side, and this will wrap up the 7-game showcase day battle at the boards presented by Crest Savings Bank here at the Boardwalk Classic, and the regular tournament will start the day after Christmas.
And again, as you said, they're introducing the starting lineups. So Wildwood Catholic coming in with a 2-0 record, Wildwood 0-2. I know Wildwood got beat pretty decisively Friday night by a pretty talented Deptford High School in their own gym. Coach Scott McCracken, I was able to talk to him after both of their games. And, obviously he was not happy after Friday night. He just didn't expect, I think, to take that type of a beating on his home floor. But nonetheless, the kids responded very well on Sunday. And, at a time when the norm.
Rob Louis right to Wildwood wearing heads. It's Bell picked up by Kion Flanders. Dribble handoff with his brother DJ. Gets to the top of the key, goes over to Legler. Now it's Bell, top of the key. Bell holding, tipped away. Kevin McWade with it on the right side. McWade goes to Legler. Legler bounces back in the corner. McWade for three. It's off the iron, no good. Rebound, Bell. Wow, and he went to the floor hard. And let's see what we got here.
Wow, he did. He slid right down Mikel Poteet's back as Poteet was trying to get position on the inside. And Smith was just going to, Will Bell was just going to jump over him, and he did.
And they're calling a travel on this. And the Wildwood Catholic's not happy with it, but I didn't think there was really any contact there, buddy.
Not. Yeah. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think while jumping, Bell just kind of banged into someone on his way up and was off balance, and then as he grabbed the rebound, fell right to the floor.
Absolutely, and it was Poteet, and he didn't do anything to cause that contact.
Gibbs working against McWade, gets it up across the division line. Takes it right side, goes to Flanders. Flanders holding against Trey Smith. To Brendan Bean in the corner to Gibbs. Baseline drive, jump stop. Good bounce pass to Coleman, but he missed a little chippy inside. That was a good pass there by Gibbs. Wildwood Catholic the rebound. Here comes Legler. Goes over to Trey Smith for three. Got it.
And that's one thing Wildwood Catholic has a lot of, and that is three-point shooters.
Gibbs traveled with it. Good defense by Kevin McWade.
Absolutely. That's what Kevin McWade, he does that as well as anybody in South Jersey. When I say what he does is he hawks the basketball. You're a guy bringing the ball up, a point guard for the opposing team. Kevin McWade is not a guy you want to see.
Here's Smith for three. Wow. Got it. That was DJ Smith. Off the assist from Ryan Legler. And Trey and DJ Smith each have three-pointers. Here's Flanders for three, and that's good. Kion Flanders, one of the many promising freshmen playing varsity basketball here in the county.
Absolutely.
We're going to see two of them in Caleb and Charles Fields come off the bench for Wildwood Catholic.
And again, Flanders did a great job. Had his feet set, Brian, on that left side. No hesitation, no doubt about it. That is the cool, calm collectness of a good shooter.
Legler to Smith for three. Wow. Got it. DJ Smith, another three. And Wildwood Catholic has knocked down three-pointers in a row, and they lead at 9-3.
And Ryan Legler has
Here's Gibbs. They're going to call an offensive foul on Gerald Gibbs.
Ryan Legler has 3 assists on those three-pointers. Doing a good job is Ryan. Dribble penetration, comes to a jump stop, kicks it out because the defense collapsed on him, and his teammates with their feet set. Those Smith kids don't miss.
Bell had it tipped away in the corner to Legler. Legler,
nice
cross-court look to DJ Smith. Now it's Kevin McWade. DJ Smith again on the floor. And now it's Trey Smith guarded by Brendan Bean. 9-3 Wildwood Catholic, 5:05 to go first quarter. Bell to DJ Smith, leans in, off the back iron, no good. Rebound, Flanders for Wildwood. Got it over to Gibbs. Gibbs across midcourt. Gibbs spinning against McWade. Right side to Bean. Bean dribble handoff to Gibbs. Gibbs off Poteet's screen into the top of the lane. Fall away jumper, no good. Rebound Coleman. Shot up, no good. A lot of contact, nothing called. And the rebound is taken down by Trey Smith. Some good physical defense by Wildwood Catholic. And now up the floor quickly. DJ Smith lays it in. Timeout Wildwood, 11-3. Wildwood Catholic on top. And it's a full timeout back after this on 98.7 The Coast. Wildwood Catholic runs out to an 11-3 lead over Wildwood here in the Andrew Alamino Memorial Boys Island Championship game. Abdiel Richards is checking in for Wildwood for the first. That's the first sub of the game for either team. Here comes Gibbs for Wildwood. Gets McWade. Right side Flanders, picked up by Trey Smith. Flanders backs away from that pressure. Couple of crossover dribbles. Kicks out to Bean. Bean for three. That's short. Rebound off of Wildwood and out of bounds.
And that time, a good dribble penetration by Flanders, and he was able to kick it out to Bean. Brendan, he had his feet set. He just was unable to knock it down.
Legler goes to McWade. McWade holding. Dribble penetrates. Trey Smith for three. Got it. 4 3-pointers for Wildwood Catholic. And they are out to a 14-3 lead. Gibbs across midcourt. Right side Flanders. Fakes a three. Steps in. Good look down low. We're going to have a push in the back of Janier Coleman and a foul on Wildwood Catholic.
And that's a good call. Wildwood doing a good job that time. They want to try and continue to get the ball inside to Coleman, whether it be on the right block or the left block. That's where he is most effective. And that foul was called on DJ Smith.
Flanders missed the baseline jumper off the inbound, and here's Wildwood Catholic with the ball. DJ Smith kicks the Legler. Corner three, in and out. Rebound taken by Bean. And Wildwood has the basketball. Gibbs across midcourt. Takes the ball right side. Double team. Got it to Poteet. 17-footer. That's not his game, but Abdiel Richards the rebound. Got it to Flanders into the paint, and ball was tipped out of bounds.
And again, Wildwood with an opportunity to reset. They're going to inbound underneath their own basket. 3:02 to play in the opening quarter. Wildwood Catholic on top, 14-3.
Caleb Fields into the game for Catholic. Poteet is fouled. He got good position on the inbound. And it's one of the things that the big senior needs to work on, buddy, is finishing around the rim. That was an opportunity there where he really should be going to the line for a three-point opportunity. Should have finished that, but he will get 2 shots.
He does do a very good job of sealing down low. He uses his legs and his body very well, but you're right. You know, he's got to get that little pump fake back into his game and use the glass.
Makes both free throws, and it's 14-5.
To say that he is strong on the block would be an understatement.
Trey Smith bounces to Will Bell to the basket. His floater is good.
Too easy. That, again, too easy. And that's what Wildwood Catholic is doing with good ball movement, and they're spreading the wealth.
Right side, Justin Soto, who just came into the game for Wildwood, takes the ball to the wing. Wow, tough, wild shot. That's no good. And however, he comes back and does steal it after Wildwood Catholic got the rebound. Flanders to Soto, back to Flanders. Wildwood Catholic has a freshman and 2 sophomores on the floor. And or Wildwood does, excuse me. Wildwood Catholic has a freshman and 1 sophomore on the floor. Here's Flanders. Soto, right side Poteet. Wow, he had Kion Flanders down low, wide open, and didn't throw him the ball. And then when he finally saw him, it was too late. Here's Soto over to Flanders. Flanders for 3. This is way off. And the rebound taken by Fields.
Legler did a good job at getting out and getting either, I don't know whether he partially tipped it, but he definitely got into the vision of Flanders not being able to get a clean look at the basket.
Fields to Bell. Bell dribble handoff attempt, but Poteet did a good job of stepping in and knocking it right out of his hands. Here's Wildwood with the basketball. Lobbed up to Poteet by Soto, but he threw it way too high and into the crowd along the baseline, right into the hands of Pat the Recruiter Flynn.
And it's amazing that he actually caught it. He was not known for his hands in his playing days.
Wildwood Catholic with the ball. Trey Smith down the lane, kicks DJ Smith. Back to Fields. Fields to the basket, no good. This is Charles Fields, and he is fouled. Charles and Caleb Fields, the two brothers. And both freshmen, and Caleb will go to the line.
That was a good,
Charles is going to the line. Go ahead, bud.
That was a good, strong move by Charles Fields. He didn't finish it well. He kind of got bailed out by Coleman fouling him. Again, it's a young player mistake because he went back. He was on the left side of the basket. He went back to his right hand and basically flipped the ball right into the defender. But he was able to get a little bit of contact, and he gets to the foul line.
Made the first, missed the second. It's 17-5 Wildwood Catholic. Here's Flanders. Dribbled the ball off his foot and lost it. Right into the hands of Trey Smith. And Wildwood Catholic has it, a 12-point lead with 1 minute to go in the first half. Here is DJ Smith.
And again, Wildwood Catholic doing a good job spreading the floor, being patient.
Trey Smith went right through a double team, dished off to Caleb Fields, who floats it in from 6 feet.
And Caleb did a great job. He was ready. He had his hands ready, received the pass, and knocked down the little jump shot.
Here's Coleman in the paint, got it, and a foul. And he did a good job there. Kevin McWade was actually in pretty good defensive position, but Coleman snatched the ball away, took a bump from McWade as he scored, and he'll go to the line. 19-7 Wildwood Catholic, 31 seconds to go in the period. And Trayvon Blake checking in for Wildwood.
And absolutely, you can see Coleman has improved, and he continues to improve over last year with his offensive skills. And when he gets the ball down on either block or inside around, off the glass.
He finishes off the three-point play. It's now 19-8. Wildwood showing some pressure here. Here's Charles Fields ahead of that pressure. Hands off to Kevin McWade, and it looks like Wildwood Catholic may elect to hold for one shot here. Here's Trey Smith. Dribbles right down the lane. Got it.
Contact and all.
Yeah, it could have easily been a three-point play. The official passed on it. Trey Smith, the tough shot, made it 21-8. Here's Gibbs to Richards for three, and he banks it in at the buzzer. Wow. They cut it back to a 10-point disadvantage. It's Wildwood Catholic 21, Wildwood 11. Back after this on 98.7 The Coast. (21-11), Wildwood Catholic leading Wildwood. Start of the second quarter. Justin Soto with the ball for the Warriors. To Gibbs in the corner. Back out to Soto. Soto holding against Caleb Fields. Right side to Trayvon Blake. Blake dribbling. Lost the handle. That should have been a double dribble, not called.
Absolutely.
Here's Gibbs. Gibbs down the lane. Rejected by Charles Fields. Nice play, though, by Coleman to tip it to a teammate. Here's Gibbs, a deep three. That's short. Rebound, Blake on the weak side. Shot up blocked. Coleman the offensive rebound, and he is fouled.
I'll tell you, you got to give Wildwood Catholic a lot of credit defensively, Brian. Right there, not a great sequence because of the amount of second opportunities they allowed the Warriors, but they are contesting every shot. It doesn't matter if it's out beyond the three-point line or if it's a putback or something in the lane. They are getting out, getting a hand in every shot.
And that's the difference right now. I mean, every one of those three-pointers that Wildwood Catholic made in the first quarter were wide open. There was a couple of wide open layups, and that's the difference in the game right now. Wildwood Catholic taking a lot of uncontested shots, and Wildwood obviously having to take a lot of difficult shots.
Well, we saw that on Sunday when Wildwood was playing Pleasantville in Ocean City.
Coleman made both free throws.
And that's what really hurt them in that first half was the amount of easy baskets that the Warriors gave up.
Legler gets it into DJ Smith. And now it's Legler again, right side to McWade. McWade, crossover. Good pass in the post. That shot up might have been partially blocked by Coleman. Wildwood running the other way. Gibbs down the lane. No good off the glass. Rebound goes off of Wildwood and out of bounds.
And again, Brian, here's another perfect example. Charles Fields on the left side of the basket, instead of being confident and going up with his left hand, protecting with his right, he puts the ball back into his left hand, his right hand, makes the shot more difficult and doesn't make it.
Legler passes to Fields, tried to bounce it across to Bell, and Bell fumbled it and it went out of bounds. It's actually a good look by Fields there.
Yeah, absolutely. It was good ball movement. The sophomore Legler to the freshman Fields and over to Will Bell, who was just not ready, not able to handle it.
Gibbs, right side to Blake. Blake lobs in the post. That is a great entry pass. Coleman is fouled. That was a tremendous lob entry pass, buddy, by Trayvon Blake.
Absolutely. And you can really see, because, when you're able to watch, like I said, the last couple of games and able to watch the Wildwood Catholic coaching staff and the amount of attention that Johnny Green gives to Coleman during timeouts, during the game. Any opportunity Johnny has, he's in Coleman's ear. And you can see there's one of the best big men in Wildwood High history, Johnny Green, who had a great career at Stockton, 1,000-point scorer at Wildwood. And, he's really working hard with this young man, and the results are there.
Poteet and Bean check back into the game for Wildwood. And Wildwood High, buddy, has actually scored 7 straight points. And they've cut the Crusader lead to 6. Here's Caleb Fields. Wildwood put some pressure on, but as soon as Fields caught the pass at half court, they backed away. Here's McWade, kicks out to Charles Fields. Now Caleb Fields, top of the lane, got it to Legler. Legler floater in the paint, off the rim, no good. Rebound to Bean. Outlet pass to Flanders. Flanders pushing down the left side. In the corner to Abdiel Richards, back to Flanders. Flanders in the paint, floater, off the glass and good, and it's a 4-point game. And Wildwood has scored 9 straight.
5:50 to play.
Timeout, Wildwood Catholic.
5:51 to play here in the second quarter. And just like that, it's a game. 21-17, forcing the Crusaders to take a 30-second timeout, Brian. And obviously it's a good timeout. Coach DeWeese and his staff recognizing that the wheels right now, the momentum, everything's starting to shift and slant the Warrior way. And they call a quick timeout to try and settle their troops down. Catholic on now, the Warriors now on a 9-0 or 10-0 run. So
it's actually nine straight. They were trailing 21-8 late in the first quarter. They got that banked three-pointer at the buzzer. And now they've scored the first 6 of the second quarter. Kevin McWade for Wildwood Catholic. Hands off to Will Bell. Back to McWade. McWade over on the right wing to Ryan Legler. McWade now between the two circles. Crossover dribble, top of the lane. Goes to Fields in the corner. Shot up is short. Rebound to Poteet. And now it's Flanders for Wildwood. Goes across the division line, holds to the right wing. Flanders into the top of the lane. Tried to pass it off to Coleman. It was tipped away by Bell. It was a good idea by Flanders, but the delivery was no good, and Bell made a nice play.
And he didn't give himself enough space. He didn't create enough separation to get that ball down low to Coleman.
Caleb Fields nearly had his pocket picked by Bean. Now he hands off to McWade. Wildwood has really picked up its perimeter defense here.
Yes.
Here is Fields over to his brother, Charles Fields, to the basket. Shot up, no good, but a foul. Fouled by Poteet. Poteet was in really good defensive position and forced Fields to kind of try to float around him, which would have been a difficult shot. But Poteet went with him and bumped into him in an obvious foul.
Yeah, it would have been a difficult shot to try and float around Michael Poteet. It's like trying to go around the Appalachian Mountains. He is a space eater.
First free throw is good.
And that is the first points of this second quarter for Wildwood Catholic. 4:50 to play in the first half.
Second free throw is no good. Wildwood has the ball.
22-17, Crusaders on
Flanders right down the lane, no good, couldn't finish. We got right to the bucket, and he couldn't finish one off the back of the rim.
Yeah, that was painful. You got to be able to finish those, and obviously, the freshman will as he gets more experience and stronger.
Pass tipped in the post, and Wildwood has it, and they're trying to run.
And
Gibbs
they got numbers.
Bounces across to Blake. Shot might have been blocked by Legler.
Blake could have given that ball right back to Flanders.
Gibbs should have given it to Flanders to begin with.
Correct.
Legler, a nice drive to the basket, and that's good.
Ryan Legler with a nice
and then a bad outlet pass by Wildwood, stolen away by McWade.
Now Wildwood's going to need a timeout.
McWade to Legler. Legler bounces across the Fields. Charles Fields in the corner. Stolen away by Poteet. Took it right out of his hands.
Ryan Legler had a good idea, and again, he didn't have enough separation between himself and his teammate. That was one there where Ryan probably should have taken a shot. He probably would have drew a foul. But again, he's unselfish, so we can't fault him for that.
Gibbs to Poteet. Poteet trying to rumble down the lane. He is fouled by McWade. Foul 24-17, Wildwood Catholic on top, 3:38 to go first half.
And we thought we would have a good one, and that is exactly what this game is turning out
Coleman,
to be.
that's an offensive foul.
Great job by Will Bell. Great job by Will Bell defensively. He had position. Coleman tried to leave from too far out, and he gets whistled for his second personal foul.
Yeah, Coleman needed to either give that up or stop and take the little 6-foot bank shot.
Absolutely. You take the jump stop, use the glass.
Here is McWade. Stops, passes down to Bell. Bell lost it momentarily, got it back, and he double dribbled. Good post defense by Mikel Poteet.
Yeah, that was not a touch. An offensive possession that Will Bell is going to want to put in his highlight reel. And then eventually, he recovered, then he eventually did turn it over.
Flanders will bring it up against Trey Smith. Right side to Gibbs. In the post to Poteet. Had trouble handling it. I'm going to say Wildwood Catholic knocked it out of bounds. Inbounding now is Abdiel Richards, who had the big football season at Wildwood. Passed it all the way in the backcourt to Blake. And now it's Gibbs. Wildwood Catholic is in a 2-3 zone. This is the first time they've played zone in the game, although they do once in a while play it out of timeouts. Out of inbound plays, baseline inbound plays. Gibbs a long three, no good. Rebound Bell, and he's fouled by Poteet.
And that was, again, that's the result of a bad shot. A little bit of frustration. Poteet McCall trying to get that offensive rebound. Then he reached and he gets whistled. Hits his second personal, 5th team foul.
And now we have a foul on Richards. Fouling Legler 30 feet from the basket, and that's going to send Legler to the line. No, excuse me, that's only the 6th foul on Wildwood.
Pretty clean first half, Brian, with 2:37 to play. Just 6 team fouls against each club. 24-17, Wildwood Catholic on top.
McWade guarded by Flanders. Right side to Legler. Legler, top of the lane, kicks Trey Smith. Floater, no good, but a foul. And the foul's called against Justin Soto. No, excuse me, they called on Gibbs. 24-17. Wildwood Catholic on top. Trey Smith to the line.
Now Wildwood has not scored in almost, it is over 3 minutes. They scored with 5:58 to go when Flanders hit a layup. And that pulled them within 21-17.
Trey Smith made 1 of 2. And here's Richards bounces to Flanders. Wildwood's got to get it across. Flanders finally does. And a timeout is called by Wildwood. 25-17, 2:08 to go. Second quarter. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout on 98.7 The Coast. Out of the 30-second timeout, Wildwood with the basketball. They trail by 8, 25-17, 2:05 to play here in the first half. Bean got it back to Gibbs. Top of the key, bounces right side to Flanders. Gibbs again, high post to Poteet. Bounces across to Bean, steps in, goes to Poteet. 15-footer is short, rebound knocked out of bounds by Wildwood Catholic.
And a good job that time again. Wildwood being patient. This is a big possession for them. They don't necessarily, obviously, you're not going to make an 8-point basket, but you want to get a little bit of that momentum back. You haven't scored now and going on 4 minutes.
Poteet a jump hook, that's no good. Rebound taken by Wildwood Catholic. Here comes Trey Smith. Holding against Bean. Takes it right side. Goes across to Legler. In the corner to DJ Smith. DJ Smith holds. Lobs back to Legler. And now it is Bell. Bell over to Caleb Fields. Holding against Poteet. Takes the ball to the left wing. Crosses over to DJ Smith. Fires a 3, and it's good.
Wow.
And that was a contested 3. That could be very demoralizing, buddy, because I thought Wildwood had a very good defensive possession there, and Smith still made a 3-pointer. And now here's a turnover. Legler with the steal to the basket. No good, but a foul.
Nice, strong move. And Ryan Legler taking that one. He comes up with the steal at half court. Then he gets a nice angle. He was able to get his shoulder in front of the defender, and he was able to also look the defender off a little bit because he did have a teammate coming, but he didn't have an angle to give him the pass. So Legler takes it strong to the goal, draws the foul, goes to the line. He's going to shoot 2. 48.6 seconds to play here in the first half. Ryan buries the first one. It is now 29-17. So Wildwood went on that 10-0 run, and now you have the Crusaders on a 9-0 run.
And they're now back up again by 13 at 30-17. 43 seconds to play in the half. Richards across the timeline, got it to Flanders. Flanders doubled, back out to Richards. Flanders again, he tees up a three. That's going to be way short. Saved in bounds nicely by Coleman, got it to Soto. To Richards. Richards in the post. And Wildwood knocked it out of bounds after Trey Smith came up with the.
And again, Brian, Wildwood Catholic is in a good situation. They allowed Wildwood to pull within 21-17. Now they've got a 9-0 run on their own. They're back up 13. 20 seconds to go in the half. The possession hour to start the second half is in their favor.
Off the glass, no good by DJ Smith. Kevin McWade follows it up and in.
And DJ Smith made a really nice move. He just couldn't get the ball to stay down.
5 seconds to go in the half. Here's Flanders. Chucks up a three. That's no good, and the buzzer sounds. At the end of one half, after Wildwood Catholic had earlier cut it to 4, or Wildwood did, excuse me, Wildwood Catholic closes the half on an 11-0 run to lead 32-17. Back after this with the halftime report on 98.7 The Coast.
was much better. Yeah, and Wildwood just needs to, again, it's 32-17. First couple minutes of this third quarter, we always talk about that. They're going to be very critical. They need to slice into this, get this into a single-digit, game, get within 10, and then see where they're at from that point. But obviously, they got to come out and they got to make Wildwood Catholic scoring opportunities a little more difficult.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing that we noticed, buddy, especially in that first quarter. Wildwood Catholic was getting a lot of easy shots, and obviously a 3-point shot is not an easy shot. That's why they give you an extra point for it. But when you're wide open, it turns it into a much easier shot than normal, and that's what Wildwood Catholic had in that first quarter.
Well, very heads up and unselfish basketball.
Will Bell into the paint, no good but a foul. And they're going to whistle Coleman for that one.
And that is not obviously what Coach Scott McCracken wanted to see right out of the gate to start the second half. Coleman will pick up his third personal foul. Will Bell at the line. He knocks down the first free throw. So just like that, Janier Coleman, the Warriors' leading scorer in that first half, now with 3 fouls. So he's really going to have to be careful on the defensive end of the floor.
Wildwood Catholic showing pressure here. It's a zone pressure this time. Brendan Bean gets it up to Kion Flanders. Flanders into the top of the lane area, and he's fouled, reaching in. Not a good foul there by Trey Smith on a jump shooter. And that's going to send Flanders to the line for 2 shots.
No, it was not. The defensive pressure was there. Flanders did not really have a good look or an opportunity to set his feet and square up. And he kind of bailed him out, did Trey Smith, by fouling him.
First free throw's no good. Richards will check in for Coleman. And they may have to do a lot of offense for defense with substituting for Coleman here with him with those 3 fouls. Both free throws are no good. Rebound batted around, comes right back to Flanders. His layup is good. Mikhail Poteet kept it alive for Wildwood. And obviously, buddy, you and I are going to say anything good we can about Mikhail Poteet tonight.
Absolutely. He knew how to win us over.
Great job by Wildwood Catholic, passing ahead against the press. And Ryan Legler throws a cross-court look to Will Bell for a wide-open layup.
What better way to beat a press than not dribble through? They did not dribble through. They kept their heads up, found open teammate, crisscross pass, went one way, right back for that layup.
Jump hook by Brendan Bean was no good. We're going to have a jump ball now. Possession to Wildwood. 36-19, Crusaders lead.
And again, 36-19, Wildwood with the ball. And the Warriors need to get some momentum started here in this third quarter.
Ball in the corner. Now it's Gibbs. Goes back out to Richards. Bounce pass into the post. Poteet leans in. That's short. Got his own rebound. Powers up and lays it in. That was a nifty little pass by Richards to get the ball into the post, and then Poteet followed the shot nicely.
Yeah, he turned, he squared, he used a little pump fake.
McWade to the basket, got it in a foul.
Poteet used a nice little pump fake, used the glass, was able to score the basket, but then Eddie McWade wastes no time. They pushed the ball down the floor as Wildwood Catholic takes the ball right at Mikhail Poteet, draws the foul, scores the basket. Now he's on the line trying to finish the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Kevin McWade makes the free throw. If it was Eddie McWade, we'd have eligibility issues, buddy.
Yeah. Did I say Eddie? Yeah, you're right. He was too smart to be left back.
Yeah. Here's Richards for Wildwood. 39-21. Wildwood Catholic, its largest lead of the game. Flanders dribbles through a double team, gets into the paint, got it to Coleman, layup. Wow. No good but a foul, and that ball did everything but go down. And we'll go to the line for 2 shots, though.
And again, Wildwood did a good job getting the ball down on that right block to Coleman. And that time, Janier did a good job. He caught, nice little drop step, and he powered up to the basket, drew the contact. Just could not get it to stay down the roll. It could have been a good opportunity for a three-point play. But nonetheless, he does bury the first free throw. He will get one more.
That one's short.
Ryan Layler did a good job boxing out the shooter, coming down with that defensive rebound.
Legler bounces to Bell, right side. Back to Legler, top of the key. Pass tipped by Richards, but into the hands of Bell. Bell spins around a double team, lays it up and in, got right down the lane.
And that was way too easy. And Bell took advantage, got right to the rack and laid it in.
Gibbs holding against McWade. And pass on the wing, nearly stolen by Legler. Here's Bean into the post to Coleman, and he is fouled. And, you know, tonight, buddy, Wildwood's offense has been pretty effective when they get the ball to Coleman. The problem is they have too many possessions where they don't get him the ball.
Absolutely, and we
Coleman,
talked about that.
Yeah, I mean, Coleman at this point only has the 1 field goal, but he has been effective at the line, although he did miss that free throw. He leads Wildwood with 8 points.
And that foul was on DJ Smith. That's going to end up being DJ's 3rd personal foul. And that will cause Coach Dave DeWeese to have to substitute for him.
Both free throws are no good, but the rebound goes off of Wildwood Catholic and out of bounds.
And that time, Brendan Bean did a good job of going for that offensive missed free throw. Kevin McWade was not able to fend him off. Bean knocked it off of McWade, and Wildwood will retain possession. However, they are down 19 now, 41-22. 5:16 to play, 3rd quarter.
Gibbs passes in the post. Coleman can't come up with it, but he does track the ball down. He double dribbled, though.
That would have been a heck of a move if he got away with it, because he really did after he decided to dribble, after he picked it up. He had a nice lane to the basket.
Wildwood will try to put some pressure on here. Now here's Kevin McWade. Stops at the foul line. Dribble penetrates. Kicks back to Legler. Legler bounces down low. Caleb Fields off the glass and good.
That was a great look.
And the route right now is on, buddy. It's a 21-point lead for Wildwood Catholic, 43-22. Flanders had it taken out of his hands by McWade. McWade bounces to Legler. Now it's Trey Smith. The layup is good. Wildwood needs a timeout.
Unselfish basketball.
45-22, 4:42 to go 3rd quarter. Back after this on 98.7 The Coast.
Talk about good team basketball, unselfish basketball. Wildwood Catholic coming up with the ball on the defensive end. They go down on a little bit of a break. Kevin McWade, comes up with that steal at half court. He could have found a way to get himself an angle to get to the basket, but he doesn't force it. He doesn't need to. He has got a teammate in front of him. He dumps it to Legler, who in turn dumps it to Trey Smith, who in turn scores a layup.
Wildwood misses. They come up quickly, and Wildwood Catholic the rebound. Trey Smith goes to Kevin McWade, top of the key. Now it's Legler. McWade again at the foul line area. Drives, left-handed off the glass, no good. Wow. Bell follows it up and lays it in.
And right now, Wildwood Catholic can do no wrong. Not the greatest shot selection that time by Kevin McWade, but Will Bell was right there.
Oh, nice little pass in the post. Abdiel Richards got into the top of the lane and then bounced pass right to Coleman, and he laid it in. Coleman, the first Wildwood player in double figures with 8. But Wildwood Catholic with a commanding 23-point lead. McWade rejected by Coleman and out of bounds.
And a great job that time by Janier Coleman coming over in help side. You can't teach that any better. He slid over, had great body control, was able to go up and tell Kevin McWade, nah, I'm swatting this one down to the ocean. And if the window behind the basket was open, that's where it would have went.
Trey Smith, dribble drive down the left side, and they're going to call him for traveling. 47-24, Wildwood Catholic on top. Trayvon Blake back into the game for Wildwood. And here is Blake again, over to Flanders in front of the Crusader bench. Pass was knocked away by Wildwood Catholic. Bean for Wildwood, and for the first time, Angelo Shelton for Wildwood Catholic into the game. Here is Flanders, spins, tough shot. Oh, he got it. That was a tough shot, buddy. Kion Flanders, yes. Foul line area.
And Flanders, he's another one, a freshman that's just got a tremendous upside. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch over the next 4 years, I should say, counting this one.
Up the floor quickly as Wildwood Catholic, and Charles Fields lays it right up and in. Too many easy shots for Wildwood Catholic tonight, buddy.
From Ryan Legler.
Foul Crusader number 5, Angelo Shelton. His first team score.
And that time, Angelo Shelton being very aggressive on the ball. Defensively, it's a little too much contact, obviously, and he gets whistled for the foul. 2:40 to play, third quarter, 49-26. Wildwood Catholic on top.
Richie Payne is in the game for the first time for Wildwood. Payne inbounds. That was not a bad idea to Coleman, but he put too much on it, trying to feed it right to him in the lane, and it was too high and out of bounds. Here comes DJ Smith into the game for Catholic, and Will Bell's going to come back in as well.
I'll tell you what, Brian, Ryan Legler checks out. What a great floor game he has played tonight.
Well, you got to remember, too, buddy, he's almost like a freshman. These are his first high school games. He was hurt all of last year as a freshman. Charles Fields kicks over. Trey Smith for 3. Got it.
He is 3 for 3 from beyond the arc.
And Wildwood Catholic is 6 for 9 as a team. Payne shut off, stolen away. Caleb Fields to the basket, and a blocking foul is called. And he'll get 2 shots.
And that time, Trayvon Young for Wildwood. He had a good idea. I mean, he was trying to take a charge, and you can never fault a player for making an attempt.
You know, it's pretty neat, buddy. The one thing we really enjoy about this Christmas tournament is seeing a lot of the former players come back. And, you look at what this county produces in basketball. We saw Jordan Robertson walking around here earlier from Wildwood Catholic playing at Division I Colgate. Across the gym right now, you have Kennedy Johnson from Wildwood Catholic playing at Division I Michigan State. And she's standing next to Lauren Fields from Middle Township playing at Division I Savannah State. And then, of course, you have Eddie McWade playing at Division II Chestnut Hill on a partial scholarship. So down here in little old Cape May County, we do tend to produce some pretty good basketball and some good basketball players.
And Lauren Legler, Ryan's older sister, well, she's older. She graduated last year. She's also playing college basketball. I mean, there's so many kids that are here that come back to take in these games. You know, it's obviously it's very neat and it's very exciting. This is a great time of year.
53-26, Wildwood Catholic on top. Flanders with it for the Warriors. Got it poked away from behind, and here goes DJ Smith. Around the back dribble, and a nice job by Trayvon Blake to take it right out of his hands. He's running, goes to the basket. That shot rejected by Charles Fields. Now with the ball for Wildwood Catholic in the game for the first time is C.J. Wise. Swung over to Charles Fields. Into the paint. Nice pass across to Will Bell. Layup. Wow. Got it.
That was brute strength right there. Will Bell really gathered himself under the basket. Went up strong. Little contact. Good no call. Able to use the glass and score the ball.
Flanders had it blocked. No good. Rebound to Coleman. He is fouled by Wise.
And going back to that shot that Flanders took driving that right baseline, Caleb Fields did a nice job, a little sneaky defensively there as he kind of like stepped behind Kalon Flanders, making him think that he had an open look to the basket. He was able to block his shot from behind. 55-27, Wildwood Catholic on top, just under 1 minute to play here in the third quarter. 59.5 seconds. Michael Suarez checks into the game.
And Coleman makes the second.
For the first time tonight. And Brian, I thought Suarez on Sunday had played some quality minutes in some key situations for the Warriors in that loss to Pleasantville.
Caleb Fields with it. Goes over to C.J. Wise.
He's another freshman.
They're all over the place.
And he's a big kid. He's going to, he's a big kid with a lot of athleticism and girth.
Mm-hmm. We have an offensive foul called against C.J. Wise, barreled into Trayvon Blake.
Trayvon Blake doing a good job. Trayvon Blake doing a good job moving his feet and taking that charge. Because he definitely established position. Whether there was that much contact.
Richards on the wing had it tipped out, got it into the top of the lane, had it tipped out of his hands, but it went right to Coleman, who laid it up and in.
Brian, he says he meant to do that.
So we'll give him the assist then. Inside 10 seconds to go in the third quarter. Wise got it to Bell. Bell tried to dribble handoff. It's stolen away by Blake, but he couldn't stay in bounds. And Wildwood Catholic will inbound with 2.8 to go. And not surprisingly, Legler and the two Smith brothers check in to try to get off a last-second shot here.
A little gamesmanship going down on the right block between McWade and Young.
in the post. McWade turnaround jumper at the buzzer, no good.
Good execution.
Yeah,
by
it was.
Wildwood.
55-30, all Wildwood Catholic here as we end the third quarter. Back after this on 98.7 The Coast.
Right now, and that's exactly what Wildwood needs to do. They need to take something positive away from this last 6 minutes of this basketball game. Work on things that
Here's
they're
a
going to
steal.
need.
Charles Fields up ahead, make it Caleb Fields up ahead, and he lays it up and in.
And he used his left hand, left side of the basket. Very strong move. 59-30. 5:32 to play in the game. Wildwood Catholic on top.
Not a good entry pass there. It was tipped away from behind.
And it was thrown at its feet.
And Wildwood Catholic, if they score on this possession, will be up by more than double of Wildwood's point
what a
total.
look.
Backdoor pass from McWade to Legler. Timeout Wildwood. And they're going to take a full timeout. Back after this on 98.7. The Coast, 61-30, Wildwood Catholic on top. Alamino Boys Island Championship game here at the Boardwalk Classic. 61-30, Wildwood Catholic leads Wildwood. And buddy, Scott McCracken called that last time out, I'm sure, because, you know, it's one thing to lose a basketball game, but over the last 2 minutes or so, Wildwood had stopped competing. And now they have another sloppy turnover here as they throw it back court. You know, and I think that's the one thing that, you know, he's probably most upset about. Matt Capozzoli will come in for his first action for Wildwood Catholic.
And you're absolutely right, Brian. The last thing, he doesn't want any type of antics to go on out of frustration.
Legler to the basket, no good. Rebound to Coleman.
And he doesn't want them to quit effort-wise.
Right.
You know, play hard. We'll go out with our heads held high. It wasn't our night tonight. You know, Wildwood Catholic was the better team.
Richardson the post to Blake. His outlet pass was stolen away by Wise. And there's a foul on Wildwood.
Warriors foul number 20, Traylon Young. His second, team's fifth.
15 foul on Wildwood. May have heard that in the background. From the nearly famous stadium announcer, Mark Rucci.
Yeah. He's really climbing up the ranks.
University of Delaware basketball announcer. CJ Wise gets on the score sheet, steps away from the baseline nicely to give himself a good angle and banks it in from 8 feet.
Yeah, it was definitely a smart move there by CJ Wise.
Stolen away by Legler. Legler to the basket, got it in a foul. Dumped from behind by Blake, and he lays it up and in.
That was just a great move. Great play all the way around. The way Ryan Legler was able to get into the passing lane, tip the ball, retain possession, and then dribble. You know, he was a step ahead of the two defenders, but he made sure that he had the proper angle.
Juarez and Payne back in for Wildwood. Patrick Vages for Wildwood Catholic for the first time. Legler's free throw is good. And checking in for Legler is Justin Ferraco.
And Ryan Legler finishes the three-point play the old-fashioned way. And his whole finish there is body control. And again, you just talk about the length of some of these young players for Wildwood Catholic. And Ryan Legler uses his wingspan and his length.
Justin Soto, a deep three from straight on. That's good. 66-33 now. Pass tipped away. Stolen by Wildwood. Knocked away from behind. That's a kicking violation on the offense, which you very rarely see, but that was a very good call. Ball was rolling toward the basket. Mike Juarez stuck his foot out to stop it. And that's a very good call by the official there. You very rarely see a kicking violation called on the offense, but that was certainly the case there. Here is Fields down the lane and got it knocked out of his hands and out of bounds. You know, you start looking at this game here, buddy, 66-33, and you start thinking you may have to go back through the record books. This, you wonder if this may be one of the largest margins of victory in this series, at least from Wildwood Catholic side anyway. You know, there was a long time in the 80s when Wildwood, and even parts of the 70s, where Wildwood dominated this rivalry, but there were never many blowouts. A missed shot by Wildwood, and then we have a jump ball on the rebound. Wildwood will inbound.
No, there were never really any. And easy when you talk about parts of the 70s, all right? Look, go a little easy there.
Hey, listen, I never played in the rivalry. I didn't miss the front end of a 1-on-1.
I didn't miss the front end. I missed the second.
Oh, all right. Here's Wildwood Catholic with the basketball after a Wildwood turnover. C.J. Wise along the baseline, shoveled across. Now it's Farraco backing it out for Wildwood Catholic. Pass stolen away by Abdiel Richards. He'll go to the basket. And, oh, he missed the layup. Rebound tipped out of bounds by Wildwood Catholic.
2:36 to play. 66-33. Wildwood Catholic on top here in this Andrew Alamino Island Boys Championship game.
James Gruel will check in for the first time for Wildwood. Replaces Abdiel Richards. Justin Soto with it for Wildwood. Angelo Shelton's in for Wildwood Catholic again, too. Here's Blake for three. That's going to be short. And that'll go out of bounds. And Wildwood Catholic will have it. And now coming in is Lou Fiola for the Crusaders. .221 to go. And essentially turned into a preview of the JV game between these two schools that will be played on Friday here at the Convention Center. Here's Justin Soto. No starters in the game for either team. And really nobody in the game in the regular rotation either. Here's Wildwood with the ball. Payne a baseline three, and that's good. So Richie Payne makes a three.
Good look that time by Richie Payne as he's going to get his name into the box score.
Shelton stops, goes to Vages. Vages down the lane, kicks out to Shelton. Shelton back up high to Fiola. 66-36, Wildwood Catholic on top, 1:30 to go in the first half. Down the lane, Fiola. Wow, what a move. Off the glass and good for the big man.
As the,
showing some nimbleness there.
Yeah, there wasn't no booze, that was lose.
Soto straight on for three, rattles it home. He's knocked down a couple of threes in this quarter. And now we have a timeout called by Wildwood Catholic. 1:12 to go, 68-39. The Crusaders comfortably ahead in this one. And, you know,
a lot of people probably saying, why was there a timeout call? But it was actually to get other
subs in the game. And you know what's interesting, buddy? The dynamics of basketball. You think about this. On paper, last year, Wildwood Catholic on paper was much better than Wildwood. And the game last year was much more competitive deep into the third quarter. This year, the teams on paper appear more evenly matched. And Wildwood Catholic has just come out and played a tremendous basketball game. And they lead the game by 29 points right now, 68-39 with a minute left in the contest.
Absolutely. I never would have anticipated such a lopsided game as we've seen tonight.
Vages holding, goes to Capozzoli. Back to Fiola. Fiola hands off to Shelton. And that pass was intended for Austin Thompson and went out of bounds.
42 seconds to play. 68-39, Wildwood Catholic on top.
Soto drives, kicks. Here's Payne for another three. That's off the rim, no good. Rebound, Gruel. Good little pass in the post. Layup is no good by Sean Webb, but he was fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2 shots. With 27 seconds to play. First free throw by Webb is good.
Not to be, ticky-tacky here, but since we are kind of, since I'm sitting with the guru of the rule book, then beads.
I was thinking the same thing, and I'm going to have to look. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, Sean Webb has some beads in the back of his hair. And, if they are hard, they could be a safety issue. That's something we will have to look up in the rule book. Of course, when it's 68-40 with a minute to play, the officials are not going to get involved in telling a kid he's got to go out of the game for something like that.
Yeah,
so
they won't be as beady-eyed.
Exactly. Fiola dribbling out inside the timeline. 2 seconds to go. One, and there's the buzzer. 68-40. All Wildwood Catholic as they beat Wildwood here in the Alamino Island Championship game. We'll be back with the post-game report right after this on 98.7 The Coast. Chances.
Yeah, this year I'm just worried about trying to control the tempo because I know all the guys around me, they can hit shots whenever. So I'm just trying to control the offense, and I know we're going to hit shots.
Tell us about, Wildwood at one point. You guys had a big lead toward the end of the first quarter. They banked in a three. They scored the first 6 points of the second quarter to get to within 4. There was a timeout called. And then from that point on, you guys dominated the game. What did you do well from that point?
Well, when we came into the game, Coach Deweese, he just was telling us we got to play defense, hard defense all game. And in the beginning, we did that. and that's why we got to the big lead. But then after that, we started to slack off a little bit. He had to put back on us that defense wins the game. So we just got back on defense, and that's how we got the big lead.
You have it. Go ahead, bud.
Excuse me, Kevin, when we look at the stat sheet throughout your career, especially up until the last couple of years, you played with an enormous amount of talent. Your brother, Jordan Robertson, Clinton Freeman. Now this year, you're the only senior on the team, and obviously you're the leader. You're the guy they look to in crunch time to make sure you have the ball. And you look at the stat sheet here tonight, and it's just pretty amazing. The team had 15 turnovers, but you had none. You led the game in steals where you had 3, and you, as you said, how the importance of controlling the tempo and then playing with these younger guys now, where before you were the younger guy playing with guys.
Yeah.
Now, did you learn from that experience?
Well, the past couple years, we had Eddie, we had Jordan, Mookie. They could all make a play all by themselves. But this year, I think all of us, we need to run the offense, stick to the offense, or else we're not going to be successful. So I just have to try to get everybody stay in line with the offense, make sure everybody's running the play, and just control things so we don't get out of hand. That's how we're scoring our buckets.
And the one thing that I talked about, and Brian and I were up there Saturday in Ocean City and saw you guys play Vineland, and something that was very evident tonight is the way you share the ball as a team. There's not anybody out there with the, it's my turn attitude. There was a time when you came up with the steal at half court in the second half when the game was kind of close, but where Brian was talking about when you started to pull away, and you came up with the steal. You got to the foul line area, and then you kicked it ahead to Ryan Legler. Then Legler found, I believe it was DJ Smith, another pass away for a layup. I mean, those types of baskets seem to be the norm with this group.
Yeah, well, Coach Deweese, he's been telling us all year that at the beginning we weren't doing it so well, but that pass up a good shot and we'll get a great shot. He's been saying that all year because in the beginning we all knew we could shoot. We have a lot of shooters, so we can always get a shot at the three-point line, but if we just keep on passing up good shots, we'll get a very uncontested shot. So that's what we're better at, and you can see right here that it really worked out.
All right, one more, and we'll let you go. You're the only senior on this team, the only guy who really played significant minutes last year. I know Will Bell gave you a little bit off the bench, but to be 3-0 at this point, after 3 games with such a young group, you got to feel really good.
Yeah, we feel good. We knew coming into the season if we just have to play together as a team, and then we'll have a chance in all of our games. We have the shooters. If we play together, we play under control, we can definitely have a shot in all of the games. All
right, Kevin McWade from Wildwood Catholic. Thanks for joining us. Good job. And Wildwood Catholic gets the win 68-40. And Kevin McWade, 5 points, 3 steals, 3 assists. And as Buddy mentioned, probably the biggest thing with as much as he handles the ball, 0 turnovers. And this is one of the most remarkable things that I've ever seen in statistics, Buddy. Sometimes these stat boxes, you can study them, and some of the things that you pull out are extraordinary. I don't know if I've ever seen a high school basketball team score 68 points in a game, and not one player on the team took more than 6 shots from the floor.
Absolutely.
4 different players for Wildwood Catholic took 6 shots, and 2 others only took 5. 2 others took 5. And you look at the individual shooting percentages. Trey Smith, 5 for 6. Will Bell, 5 for 5.
That's pretty good.
Caleb Fields, 4 for 5. DJ Smith, 4 for 6. Ryan Legler, 3 for 6. That's just extraordinary. And to get 28 or 68 points. And one of the things that Coach Dave Deweese has been very happy with this group is that they do have a lot of balance. And you look at what they did tonight. Trey Smith with 14, Will Bell with 12, DJ Smith with 11, and 2 kids in Caleb Fields and Ryan Legler with 9. You get 5 kids that get you 9 or more points, you're going to be difficult to guard. And, this is a Wildwood Catholic team. Again, they're going to have trouble with good teams against good teams with size. But, they're showing right now that, you start to wonder. All these kids have heard, I'm sure, about all the seniors that they lost last year. And these kids want to come out and prove something here. And, so far, for them to be 3-0, they don't have a superstar out there, but they are really, really playing great basketball.
And I think, too, Brian, we talked about this, throughout the weekend and then again today leading up to tonight's game. The fact that they have so many young players and that the basketball acumen that these kids have, the stock that they come from, they're going to be a fun group to watch. Absolutely. It's just going to be a lot of fun to watch this group. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, Wildwood, we saw a better game out of them on Sunday. Tonight, for whatever reason, they just didn't have it. I think the Warriors are going to continue to improve, and I think they're going to be fun to watch as well. So, there's some good basketball happening throughout Cape May County.
All right, Janier Coleman led Wildwood with 14 points and 9 rebounds. Kion Flanders with 9 points for Wildwood. The Warriors fall to 0-3. Wildwood Catholic, as we said, goes to 3-0. That'll wrap it up from the convention center here at the Boardwalk Basketball Classics Battle at the Boards showcase event presented by Crest Savings Bank. So Wildwood Catholic sweeps the Alamino Championship games. The girls win at 51-37, and the boys 68-40. For John back at the studio, for Phil Pizzi here doing the camera for us, for Matt Ulmer, who's been a real pain in the backside all night, screaming at us because he wants to get out of here for his next meal. But we will thank him as well. And, of course, we thank all the sponsors. For my partner, Buddy Tarbot, and I'm Brian Kniff. Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays. And the Boardwalk Basketball Classic, remember, continues on Friday and will run every day through Tuesday. So come over to the convention center and check it out. All the local teams will be in action at various times over the rest of the tournament. You can go online and check out the schedule at bbclassic.com. That'll do it from here. Wildwood Catholic sweeps the Alamino Championship games at the Boardwalk Basketball Classic. This has been high school basketball on 98.7 The Coast, WCZT.